Hello and welcome to the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast. It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be an amazing one. We've got so many tips to share with you.
Yeah, so today we are talking about chasing that dream, and not just chasing it, but actually making that dream a reality of becoming a professional dog trainer.
For me, working with dogs was always in my sort of desires, my dreams, my aims. I wanted to reach there. But it was always kind of like a one day or maybe or pie in the sky or lots of people saying that's just not a job. Like you can't do that as a job. You can do it as like a hobby, but you're definitely not going to be able to work within your passion. That doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, and the thing is that often we're kind of made to feel a little bit guilty for actually doing stuff that we enjoy and doing stuff that grows us and doing stuff just for the fun of it, like the fun of learning. There doesn't necessarily even have to be a practical outcome.
And so many people being a little bit scared of like the judginess of others or where like other people might dislike what you do or disapprove what you do or basically not feel that you are worthy of what you're doing, and you're worried what other people might think. I think that's a big thing. Like for me, when I started, a long time ago now, like when I started, it was a big thing. Like I was doing a law degree and actually suddenly that's not a good thing to do, Lauren, being a dog trainer compared to doing that. Like that's not a cool thing. And yet working with dogs and working around dogs and being with dogs has always been my passion.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've all been through these systems, these school systems, or just general like rearing systems of you find something that you're good at and you do what you are good at. And yet actually doing what you are good at or what you might find easy or naturally easy, that isn't the formula for happiness. What is the formula for happiness?
It's the success versus like happiness, right? Like, you know what, like absolutely you can be really, really successful. I see people every day in my day job being very, very successful. And yet, like we said, the formula to happiness isn't necessarily anything to do with relating to maybe how much money you earn or maybe how much, I don't know, time you're in the office or any of those things. Like they can be completely like juxtaposed. They can be completely different, right?
And in fact, what is the formula for happiness is like immersing yourself in something that lights you up, that gets you excited, and really that whole opportunity to learn for the joy of learning. So I guess to start off these tips that we want to give you, I guess the first one is we'll do a bit of tip tennis. The first key is that actually, you know what, sometimes you can just jump into something, immerse yourself in something, enjoy something and learn something purely for the joy of learning and being part of it.
And I think that's a huge thing, right? Like it is being part of something that you ultimately love and that you ultimately enjoy. And actually, I think my tip back there is that you don't have to have a set outcome. Like you don't have to have this is going to be this. No way. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I moved to this centre, did I ever foresee like what we're doing right now? Like I never saw podcasts, and I like some things, yes, we visualise. So my second point there, probably tip back, would be, you absolutely do not need to know the outcome. You don't need to feel that, like, yes, if you're learning and you're loving it and you're enjoying it and you're having a great time doing it, the outcome may become apparent as you go. And actually, that's what's happened to me for sure. It's become apparent later on. It hasn't been something that was always like there in front of me, if that makes sense.
And in fact, if you've got everything figured out, it probably isn't your path. If you find, the path of least resistance rarely is the path that you should take.
An example of that one would be the law path for me. Like the law path was very much laid out in front of me. Here you are, you've graduated in your law degree, well done at Exeter University, very, very good red brick degree, university, nice, thumbs up. Everyone thinks that's fantastic. And yet it didn't feel fantastic. It didn't feel successful. It didn't feel anything. It didn't feel like who I was. It didn't feel like it aligned with my values. It didn't feel like it was a lifestyle I wanted to chase. There was nothing about it that felt, this is me and I'm passionate about this. Actually, what it felt was, this is the path that's laid out in front of you. Now go take it. And that was a weird feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. So next tip, I guess, and I guess these tips, what we want to focus on is actually not just becoming a dog trainer and making your dream a reality, but actually, if we're gonna explore the world of dog training, how about we aim to become a dog trainer that gets real life results, that transforms every relationship that they encounter? How can we be the best effectively? So I guess the the third tip that we've got for you is that there definitely is a formula for becoming a professional dog trainer. And the cool thing is this kind of gets us excited. It's one of those unique areas where there's like the art of dog training and the science of dog training. There's the knowledge element, and then also there's actually the practical working with an animal and interacting with a dog element as well, and both are equally as important as one another.
So my tip back at you is 100% take opportunities. So opportunities are going to come. And for me, I started out when I was, I don't know, about 11 or 12. I would be working in a pet shop. I was working in dog kennels. I was in rehome centres. I've taken every opportunity along the way. It's for me, it's paid off big style. So taking opportunities to volunteer, to help, to jump on board with new challenges. Challenges.
Oh, my word.
Challenges.
Yeah. So we've got something exciting to tell you about, and that is and again, speaking of opportunities, we thought really there are kind of certain things that you need to get to grips with if you want to work with dogs and you want to make your dream a reality. What we did is we're challenging you to make your dream a reality, to work with dogs. So we put together the 14-day work with dogs.
And in any capacity, right, Tom? Like, I mean, it might be a part-time thing, it might be a full-time thing, it might be like you might do
for
it
your own dog.
Like, I started this alongside doing my degree. So I started this alongside a degree. It wasn't like I had planned this. I was doing my degree and I fancy teaching a bit part-time. But anyway, the challenge.
So we put together the 14-day work with dogs dream to reality challenge. Effectively what you get is some video teaching each day for the 14 days, a Facebook support group where we do live teaching in there, and we're all working on making our dream a reality together. It's basically an opportunity to geek out about dogs, immerse yourself in something that makes you feel great, play some games with dogs.
And grow, right? Like, we're all about, it's funny, someone said the other day, like, what motivates you, what lights you up? And one of the biggest things, I don't know about you, but for me, one of the biggest things that lights me up, and I know it lights you too, Tom, it's absolutely progress and growth and learning and becoming something more than what we are, right? Like moving to that next stage of observation or skill or understanding. It's such a special place to be when we're growing, we're learning, we're moving, we're alive.
Yeah. So with that, guys, if you want to hear more about that and how you can get involved in that, right now there's a 70% plus discount on that 14-day video program, which is really exciting. We're doing that to kind of give you a bit of a kick to make your dream a reality, take the dream off the back burner. You can go to prodogtrainer.me/14 days. So that's 14 days. prodogtrainer.me/14 days.
Now, back to my table tip point, the opportunities are going to be there. The big thing is you've got to take them. So I remember being offered, this was back, I don't know, way too many years ago. And I was offered a field, and I remember looking at this field and thinking, it's not perfect, and it's up on a hill, and I'm training dog agility, so this is going to be fun. And I remember I didn't think badly of this field at all. All I thought was, oh my God, this space is going to be mine to create something special. And I didn't know if I could have 1 hour a week or 10 hours a week. You know what? By the time I left that field, I had 40 hours a week, and I literally had too much to even cope with. What I'm saying to you all is that the opportunities are out there. They're available. They are everywhere. And what you need to do is you need to hone in on them and decide that you're going to take some. And I think the biggest piece of courage that you can like sort of give yourself here is that you absolutely step up and you say yes to things, because there are so many things that, my dad, he says all the time, I wish we'd done that, or, oh, do you remember that? And that was a special place. And do you remember that? And we didn't do that. And I'm like, we could have. And I think it's the saying yes. So take an opportunity. And whether it's a 14-day challenge, if that's for you, we would love to see you there. But at the same time, if it's not the 14-day challenge, what is your opportunity? And take it, like commit to it and take it and share it with us. Tell us about it. We've got a whole Facebook group that we're going to dedicate towards that. So tell us about them.
You are exactly who you need to be. And what we mean by that is that it can be very easy for like the imposter syndrome to kind of take over and us to think that we're not good enough or we're not who we need to be. And the fact is that if you're passionate, if it lights you up, if it gets you excited, you're exactly who you need to be. And one of the biggest kind of concerns that people have about taking the leap to becoming a professional dog trainer is if they've got a naughty dog, as they might be called. They might have a reactive dog, a dog who barks and lunges at other dogs, let's say. Well, sure, you could say, oh, my dog isn't perfectly behaved, so therefore who am I to teach anybody? Or actually, you are exactly who you need to be in actually conveying that you totally understand where somebody is in that
You get
moment.
their perspective, right?
Yeah.
Like you understand it.
And you understand the ins and outs of managing a dog that is reactive to other dogs. And you're very familiar with the training and the games that are involved in a dog that's reactive to other dogs because you are living it. So what you might see as your weakness is actually your biggest strength. The reason why, one of the reasons why Lauren and I became dog trainers and the dog trainers we are today is actually because there were some dogs that taught us some stuff along the way.
I mean, we think about Poppy, we think about Illy.
Yeah.
You know what, they've taught us a lot. Classic. I mean, they've taught us a lot.
And they keep coming into our lives and teaching us new stuff.
In different ways. So my table tip tennis back here is 100%, and this is a really important one. Consider who you surround yourself with and surround yourself with people that lift you higher. And I was talking to a coach the other day, and this is probably an extra tip within a tip. And have a coach. You know what? Whether we are your coaches or whether you are and you're doing something like the 14-day challenge, or you're working with us and we are coaching you, or you're working with someone, have a coach. Like, I think that's important. But be with people that lift you higher. Yeah. Don't be around. Your energy introduces you before you ever walk into a room. And when I walk into a room, I want to know that energy is cool. Like, I want to feel good energy, and I feel very passionately about picking who you match and surround yourself with, and thinking like consciously of who you're mixing with. And for me, one of the most powerful things that we do within Pro Dog Trainer and Absolute Dogs and Training Academy and the 14-day challenge is that we seem to create this amazing energy. And I don't know, really deep down, I suppose the energy comes from the ground up, because that's what we create. And at the same time, it feels like a really magical place, and we want you part of that. And at the same time, if that's not the energy you enjoy, then find the energy that really makes you like bounce, like, or whatever is your bounce. It might just be like a thumbs up or a little clap or whatever it is, but like, that's what we're talking about. We want to absolutely surround ourselves with people that lift us higher, and that for me is what the Pro Dog Trainers do within our groups, but at the same time, the geeks and all the cool people that we get to hang out with. But whatever it is for you and your version of that, and of course you're welcome to join our version of that, but at the same time, it's whatever is like congruent with you and whatever fits with you.
Yeah. And so next tip is that you need to kind of, if you're going to make the leap to becoming a professional dog trainer, you need to think, actually, what is your aim? What is your goal? Because what we often see is that people embark on this journey and they want to effectively call themselves a dog trainer. And that's great, but actually, what do you want to do? And that's the question that you need to ask yourself. And so let's dive into that a little bit more. There are many opportunities to learn about dog training out there and dog behavior out there. I mean,
you can get a badge and a tick for anything, right? Like, there's so many badges and ticks. You've got to decide what is yours.
Yeah, there's so much out there. And yet, what we really, really kind of drive home to with our Pro Dog Trainer students, which is like a 10-week program that teaches you everything you need to know to become a professional dog trainer. You get a certificate at the end, and then you're a Pro Dog Trainer. What we really make clear is that, guys, this is not about calling ourselves something. This is actually about being armed with everything you need to get real life results for a dog and an owner. And so it's not actually about, can you teach a sit or can you teach a down? It's, can you take a struggle and turn it into a strength? Can you identify the games that is actually going to transform that dog's behavior and that owner's life as a consequence of that? Because the fact is that if we don't think like that and we don't understand that, then all we're doing is we're moving to a world of exchanging our time for money. Whereas actually the biggest gift that you get as a pro dog trainer is, at the end of the day, thinking about either the amazing interactions you've had with your own dog or the amazing interactions you've had with another person's dog or another person. And that's what's life-changing. That's what is exciting. That's what that powerful why should be about. That's
what lights us up, right, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, guys, what we want you to think about is that don't just want to be a dog trainer. Let's be a real life results driven dog trainer. That's why we developed that Pro Dog Trainer program, because there weren't programs out there that actually focused on what do you need to learn to get real life results for dogs and owners.
And that is what people are crying out for. Like, they are crying out for it. People might say, oh, but is there enough work? You know what? We live in rural Devon. We live in a very, very low-key farm area, Bowerland, Devon Dogs. It's literally Oakhampton. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a big built up area, and yet we have way more bookings and way more clients, and it's because we want to drive for real life results, just as Tom's saying. And I think that you guys, if you have any inkling, whether it's a one-to-one or a little evening thing, or there's some real cool opportunities. One last one, because I know we are ready for it, and it's be resourceful. So if you want to be a dog trainer, whether you want to work with dogs, whether you want to have some level of experience with dogs, or whether you just want to know a bit more, be resourceful. So find a way. So whatever it is, we are resourceful. So I know that growing up, I didn't come from like a background that could maybe fund everything, or I didn't come from a background that kind of like pushed me into this either. Like they definitely tried to keep me away from it. So I was just so resourceful. You know what? Nothing was going to stop me. And I think that when we're resourceful and we're in our best sort of powerful wise state, and we're passionate about what we do, the resources will happen. Like you will find them, you will do it, whatever it takes. Like whether you're struggling with a contact and you don't know a person, or whether you're struggling with time, or whether you're struggling with money, or whatever it is, be resourceful. When you go into something with a solutions-based mindset, you will have a completely different outlook to that of coming into it, looking at the problem and fixing on the problem. So be resourceful. It's my last tip. I'm out. And I mean, I'm not out. I could go all day, but I feel like it's a good one, and I want you to go away resourceful and abundant. I think resourceful and abundant. I think those are the two mindsets that I think I'm grateful for that I have and Tom has, and I think that they make a big difference to us and to our team and to how we feel about life.
So to summarize all of that, one final sentiment.
You had to finish it, didn't you? You had to finish.
I did, and that is that, guys, when you're on the path of least resistance, that's not fulfilling you and not making you happy, your brain will think of all different kinds of stories and reasons and excuses of why you need to stay on that path of least resistance. And that, in a way, is why it's called the path of least resistance, because there's a little bit of resistance to step off it. And so your brain will think of, I don't have the finances, I don't have the time, I've got to put other people's priorities before mine. Other
people will judge me. This is not the best way to do it. I'm not good enough. Do I know enough? My dog doesn't behave as I want them to. And whatever they are.
The fact is that ancient survival part of your brain that is really limiting you right now, and it's keeping you on that path of least resistance. And as soon as we acknowledge, hold on a second, this is like the old ancient part of my brain that is thinking about how I can avoid bears hidden in bushes, and actually, you know what, there are no bears around here, and I'm
at least not in Devon.
Yeah, no, we're pretty safe here. I'm prioritizing my fulfillment. I'm immersing myself in something that lights me up. I'm fanning the flames of my passion for the first time in my life. That's empowering, right? That's exciting. And that's exactly why we put together the 14-day Work with Dogs Dream to Reality Challenge. You can find out more about it at prodogtrainer.me/14 days. These are just some of our tips that we wanted to share with you. We could go on about this all day, but we want you to take action. So head over there, get involved in the challenge. We will see you next time. And remember, stay sexy.